Welcome back to another video. If you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you know as a homemaker, I feel that it is my job and my role to save money in any area that I can. Today, I am creating a simple 3-ingredient homemade tomato soup along with not one, but 2 large loaves of braided pull-apart bread for just a couple of dollars. This cozy winter meal is also vegetarian friendly, and you most likely have all the ingredients that you need already sitting in the pantry. So to get started, I am mixing 1.5 tablespoons of yeast, 1 cup of warm milk, and 1 teaspoon of sugar in a bowl, and I'm just going to sit that to the side for a moment. Then I got out a large mixing bowl and combined 1 teaspoon of salt with 4.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Just give that a good mix, and then you can combine the original bowl with the yeast, milk, and sugar into the flour. And then you are going to add an additional cup of warm milk and 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. Once you notice it's getting to be a nice doughy consistency, you can start to work it with your hands to make sure that all of the ingredients are evenly combined. The dough does need to be somewhat firm, so if you find that it appears a little bit sticky, then you can just add a little bit more flour to firm it up. Continue to mix it by hand for around 5 to 10 minutes. Then you are just going to flour a surface really well and bring the dough over to knead for another 2 to 3 minutes inside of the flour. Once you have completed that step, then you can put the dough back into your large mixing bowl, cover it with a towel or a paper towel, and let it rise for about an hour. While the dough is rising is a really good time to get started on the very simple tomato soup. I know I said it was 3 ingredients, but technically I'm using 4 because I chose to use vegetable stock instead of water here, but you do not need the stock to make this soup. So all you need is 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter, a half of a large onion cut into large wedges, 1 28-ounce can of tomatoes, and then 1.5 cups of water. And here I am using 1.5 cups of vegetable broth. This soup is perfect for my family of 4, but if you have a larger family, then I suggest doubling the recipe. You can triple the recipe, and really you already have an entire onion, so you might as well just chop that up and add an additional can of tomatoes. So here I'm just melting down the butter into the pot, and once it's completely melted, then you can add the onions and the tomatoes and the broth into the pot, and then you're just gonna kind of turn it up to a medium heat, let it get a little bubbly, and then turn it back down to a low simmer for about 40 minutes. While that soup is simmering, we can jump back into our dough. It's likely doubled in size by now, so take it back out onto the floured surface and knead it for 2 to 3 minutes, and then place it back into the bowl for another half hour. After another 30 minutes, you are going to have a beautiful, smooth, risen dough that you can take out and cut it in half, and then cut the half pieces into 3 parts. This recipe is going to create 2 large loaves of bread, so you need a total of 6 separated pieces. I love this recipe because I can feed 1 loaf to my family tonight, and then I can freeze the other for another time. Once you get all 6 even pieces cut, then you can begin to create rope shapes out of each one. I find it much easier to just pull the dough apart to create the shape. You want to try to get them about 15 inches long. So it's a total of 3 ropes per bread loaf, which if you are familiar with braiding, then you know you need 3 strands in order to do that. You just lay them side by side and gather them all at the top and pinch together as best you can. And then you're going to begin braiding, just weaving the strands into each other and pinching it off at the bottom as well. Don't worry if your dough doesn't look perfect. When you put it into the oven and it rises, it will be a gorgeous shape in the end. Once you finish braiding the loaves, you're going to place some parchment paper in a 9 by 13 inch dish. Make sure to give that parchment paper a little bit of oil and be sure to separate your loaves as well. Give them a nice coat of egg wash and place them in the oven at 385 for 30 minutes. Coming back to our tomato soup that has been simmering for the past 40 minutes, all you have to do at this point is blend and combine everything. You can use a regular blender if you need to and do batches, or you can use an immersion blender like I am here. And that is all the steps to create a beautiful dinner that looks like a true luxury meal but costs next to nothing. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, please hit the subscribe button, like, comment your thoughts, and share with a friend. My name is Anna, and I curate biblically sound videos for women to advocate for Jesus and the beauty of traditional homemaking.